watched as Ebola has terrorized West Africa. Unfortunately, the virus has reached the United States. Last week, Thomas Eric Duncan, a resident of Dallas, Texas, arrived from Liberia and was hospitalized after getting Ebola-like symptoms. He passed away last week, coming in contact with 18 other people, including school children, according to Texas Governor Rick Perry.
No one knows what Ebola will do next. It is estimated that by early next year, 1.4 million could be affected. It's good to know that the U.S. is working on a cure and a safe place to live, compared to West Africa, who is traumatized by the virus. As of right now, Ebola needs to be stopped for the whole world.
With over 3,300 people dead from this virus arrived in the U.S., it's no surprise to CDC Director Tom Frieden. The U.S. is a lot more prepared for a virus like this, unlike Western Africa and Liberia. We have a better medical system with clean, state-of-the-art supplies and fast-responding health workers. This gives us a better chance of survival and finding for the whole world.
The article I found was from Time Magazine, written by R.M. Baker and Alice Park on October 13, 2014. This article was really on how Ebola started in the West Africa and how it came to the United States and what we are doing to conquer Ebola and right now the public's reaction. Since the article is a lot on the background of the virus, the authors do not place a lot of bias in the work. They just give a lot of information and facts. The strength of this article is giving good information on the virus and how it came, because they tell us on how it came and on how the public is reacting, and also how the victim came to the symptoms and how he passed away. The weakness of this article is that they give the idea that Ebola is going to be easily conquered. I don't think we're not going to create a cure that quickly, and it's going to take a long time to make a cure and make sure it's safe for human trials.
I found a book by Anthony Sanchez titled Ebola-like Viruses. The book provides a lot of material on the Ebola virus itself, including the history of the virus and viruses like it. The source is also quite reliable, as Sanchez is of the Special Pathogens branch at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It is the only book source available that I could find on the subject, just because the issue is so new. It is not a recent publication and therefore does not discuss the emergence of the Ebola virus in the United States, which happened only very recently. It discusses other members of the Ebola virus's family, such as the Zaire Ebola virus, Sudan Ebola virus, and Breston Ebola virus. This book will take a very scientific approach to the virus. This means any discussion will most likely be very research-based and analytical.
Read the article in New York Times about Ebola drug could save a few lives by whose by Andrew Pollack at 2014. The drugs to treat Ebola have never been tested, and it will be tested on African people. And the question is, if the drug is on the market, maybe poor people can afford that high price. The strongness of this article is that the author using questions to raise people awareness to the unsolved problems, and he also used hypotheses to see what will happen if a few tests of drugs happened in the history. He also posted a video that shows people what the situation like in Africa, and the weakness of this article is that he used too much pathos to make people sympathize patients. The bias is that the author is a white people, so he not show his respect towards the African people's behavior when they flee away from